Hey, you guys. Welcome to my channel, Everything AB. I know. I need to be consistent. And I promise, I promise, I will be, especially now because I'm not working. But I was watching YouTube and I ran across a video of a girl, a black woman, and she was sharing her experiences in the workplace regarding white women. And that kind of like hit me because I have way too many stories regarding that. Okay. Unfortunately. One being, well, first, let me stop. So, my prior job, I was fully remote. I was fully remote for about 6 years. Okay. This was my very first time being fully remote. This was from COVID. And I recently, as of last May 2025, was released. So with that experience under my belt, in comparison to being in office, it was so refreshing because I no longer had to deal with the office politics, me dumbing down myself to please other women who was in position to fire me, managers, supervisors, to dumb myself down for them to make them feel comfortable about themselves, if you know what I mean. I have way too many stories, but I'm going to share one. Actually, I'm going to share them all. But my first one was I was working for a law firm in the title department as a paralegal. This was about 10 years ago. And I constantly was getting written up because my manager was stating that I was being a distraction. Yeah, her words, a distraction. Do you want to know how I was being a distraction? Because she was stating that the attorneys that worked there, they were at my desk way too many times discussing non-work related issues. Granted, she was right. They were. They were on me. They were. But why am I getting written up? As she stated, I was at my desk. Emphasis on my desk. Why aren't you talking to them? Because clearly they are away from theirs. But yet I'm getting written up. Fast forward, I found out that her daughter used to date one of them, and they broke up, and now she sees him frolicking around my desk constantly, asking me things, trying to get to know me. What am I supposed to do? Tell them to beat it? That's not my... I'm sorry, the timer went off. But what am I supposed to do? Tell them to beat it? That's not my job to do. If you're stating that they're at my desk constantly, then you as a manager, you should be calling them and you should be speaking to them individually and letting them know that that should wait until after work hours. Am I right? Right. So that was the first write-up. Then there was a second one. And eventually they started feeling bad for me, the attorneys. So they just stopped coming to my desk because they knew eventually that it was going to lead to me being fired, which I eventually was. But I really could have sued them now that I think about it. But I was just so hurt. And I just felt so defeated that someone has so much power over me and over my livelihood that they can simply just fire me just because they were jealous. You know, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that deals with this. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of black women that deal with this type of stuff in the office. You know, like it's not our fault that we are attractive. It's not our fault that certain people find us, you know, amusing with good personalities. Like, so even speaking about it now, I'm starting to get pissed off again because it's like, what can we do? And that's why I'm a little apprehensive with going back into the work field and going in person, because I'm going to have to deal with the office politics bullshit of some white women, not all, but some white women in position to be a hater. to be a straight hater, you know, and our livelihood is at their hands, and there's really nothing that we can do about it. Oh, got me dropping stuff. Woosah, woosah, woosah. I have another story where I was working at another firm, and I went through 3 rounds of interview. I interviewed with all of the senior attorneys, HR, all of it. But one particular partner, she was away on vacation. But I interviewed with the other partners, you know, as well as the senior attorneys, like I stated, as well as HR. I had 3 rounds of interviews without this particular person being there because she was on vacation. I was there for about 2 weeks until she returned from vacation. One of the elders, one of the partners, I don't know, he was like in his 80s. And everyone in the office was super, super, super afraid of this guy. When I remember my first day, they warned me and they were like, stay away from this guy's office. Like, he's a prick. He's so mean. He's this, he's that, da, 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 da. So I was like, cool. Thanks for giving me the heads up. I will stay away from this man. But on my first day, you know how they walk you around the office. They introduce you to all the people that work there, the team management and everything like that. So when they walked me into this man's office, I already was prepared. So I just introduced myself and kindly exited his office immediately. The very next day, I walk into the office and I see a beautiful fruit basket on my desk. And it's from him. Welcoming me to the office, to the firm. It was so nice. It was such a nice gesture. Everyone was shocked when I told them who it's from. The next day, he gives me another basket full of like grapes and strawberries picked out of his garden. Like, apparently he has this beautiful garden in his backyard, and he picked like all these beautiful, more fruit from his garden for me. Okay, that was nice. However, when the other partner came back to work from vacation, mind you, I extended my hand to introduce myself to her. And when I say this woman looked me up and down, like, extended one pinky to shake. She grabbed my pinky. I have my whole hand extended to, like, hi, nice to meet you. She looked me up and down. Mind you, I wasn't, like, I'm coming from the gym, so I have, like, my gym clothes on. But I was fully turtleneck professional. When I'm working in the office, I'm super professional. I'm extending my hand. She took my hand. She grabbed, like, my pinky. And immediately I was like, oh, wow, here we go. When I tell you, I can laugh about it now. But when I tell you, when I got back to my desk and logged back into my computer, maybe 10 minutes after meeting her, my login wasn't working. It wasn't. And I'm like, I'm standing up, looking over the cubicles, like, is everyone else computer working? Looking like a fool, Bobo the fool. Like, they was like, yeah, computer's working. I'm like, mine's not working. Next thing you know, IT comes to my desk, and they're like, handing me like an envelope, and they're like, I'm sorry, you were let go. Let go for what? I just got here. That's like literally what I said. Let go for what? I just got here. He was like, I don't know. And he was cool because when he said I don't know, He was like, he shook his head and gave me a look like he knew it was bullshit. He knew it was bullshit. And I just grabbed my stuff and I exited. And I went into the car and I cried. Because I'm like, why does this keep happening to me? Why? Once again, fired for no reason. I went through 3 rounds. I was fully qualified. 3 rounds of interviews. I met with all the other attorneys. I met with 2 of the other partners. The one who they deemed like the meanest and the rudest and he hated everyone brought me 2 days, brought me fruit from his garden. And as soon as she got in from vacation, I was up out of there. Quick, fast, in a hurry. No explanation. They gave me a little severance for my little 3 weeks, and that was it. And this is what we as black women go through. I know I'm not the only one. I've been watching videos all day about different black women and their experiences. This is disgusting. And this is why I'm so hesitant to go back into the office.